shine the spotlight on triple threat, singer, songwriter, instrumentalist phenomenon, Jonathan McReynolds.
I'm a musician, I'm a believer, I'm a writer, I'm a songwriter, I'm a thinker, I'm an overthinker. I'm Jonathan McReynolds.
Didn't I conquer this last year? Tell me what I missed.
I hated singing. I mean, I threw temper tantrums if they asked me to sing in church. I didn't even start, playing with it till I got to high school and found out that girls liked it. But, I've been playing, the organ and the drums since I was 8 in church. You know how church is. When you go to a small church, you do everything. You do sound, you do this, you play the organ, you play the drums when necessary. I mean, basically, I was making music in my dorm room, just for kicks, just making music in between classes. For Christmas one year, all of us college kids don't have money, so I had to make something sentimental for my family. So I put together a little EP. I called it the Very Unofficial EP. I gave it to them. The first track was like, "Hey, Aunt Betty, I love you. You're the greatest. Here's some songs I've been working on." That EP, it just started to get out, and people started to pass it around. And one day I woke up to 30 missed calls because they had played No Gray on the radio. And then Pastor Hannah, who's a pastor of an amazing church out here, New Life, he invited me to his church. I sold 1,000 CDs in one day. Now you tell me what 1,000 CDs times $10 is for a college student. Changed the whole game. Upgraded equipment, and so my writing, I think what's fueled the way I've written is, I've been to church my whole life. I've heard every sermon, I've heard different styles of preaching, and sometimes you listen to all that preaching, you still leave and you don't have a clue what to do. But then if you ask me, okay, so what does that mean tomorrow when you go to school? You don't know. And so I think everything that I've been doing has been to try to de-churchify, de-sermonize sermons, make it so that people actually understand, okay, this is what's going on. This is how you get over it. This is humanity. This is Christianity. This is where they meet. And, I think I write it that simply because I always wanted it to be told that simply to me. Every generation has a different style of, Christian sacred gospel music. But when it comes to the way we're doing it, the way me and Tasha and Travis and Todd and, Dolly and Molly and Kiki are all doing it, I think we are sensing that we can still be as excited as any other generation. There might be fewer of us, but we're just as zealous, we're just as enthusiastic about God. We just sometimes needed a little more information. I think other generations were able to get along with a little less information. No, they didn't Google everything. They just said, Jesus is alive? Cool, I believe it. And, I feel him deep down in my soul. I feel him in my bones. Look at my feet. They look new. Look at my hands. They do too. Everything was it seemed like it was easier to accept. But in this world where nobody believes anything, everybody's, we doubt everything. We need something that reminds us how real God is, and this is how you see it, and this is how you prove it, and this is how you know it. More than ever, us musicians, us artists, us songwriters, we are pastors. We are message carriers for real, because sometimes people are only listening to us and not even stepping foot in church.
Just wanna live for you, nobody else but you. Yeah. I just wanna live.
And honestly, the way I'm wired, the more I quote unquote teach, the more I stand in front of people, the more I get impacted by the words. Sometimes I'm like, what are you saying? What are you writing, Jonathan? Because it is blessing me. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just excited. Make Room has been this whole year for me. Just the season where I have been blessed. I have a lot of friends, a lot of things going on, but I realized I was choking God's space. I was putting so many other things on my to-do list that I was forgetting to pray. I was forgetting worship. Check this out. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff for him and not doing anything with him. And it's crazy that I'm walking around here talking about being all Christ representative, and I'm not even being a Christ communicator. I'm not even talking to him. It's amazing how we can do stuff for Jesus and work in church all day and not even deal with the actual relationship. And so I just want to make sure in my music and in the book and everything that I came across is that no matter where you are, trust me, you can make more room for God. It's been a crazy journey. Just because it was moving fast doesn't mean it wasn't uphill. You gotta think, when I first started 7 or 8 years ago, I was walking into churches with a brown wooden box that they had never seen before. I was walking in with an acoustic guitar, and back then they didn't even know what to do with it. Did we hook it up? I had to bring every chord to, just to show them, what can be done with this. And then I was singing a song like No Gray, which is really the first song that kind of, got people's attention. And that song, I was used to going to church and everybody was yelling and shouting off of a song. That song, there's no shouting coming after that. Nobody's running, nobody's leaping, nobody's doing anything. At best, it's a standing ovation. And sometimes it was just a face of, awesome disgust or something. But actually, that face of disgust was a face of conviction. It was a face of being challenged. It was a face of God hitting him in a way that he had never been hit before. And so I had to learn that my music was not built for an immediate reaction like most of the music of my time. It was built for, you're going to remember this when you leave, and it's going to make you, reflect. It's going to make you think. The whole point is, you can't be discouraged by people's immediate reactions, especially when you're doing something that's new and a little bit pioneering. Well, this time I did like a stick figure, because it's not that I want to do something, I want to be something. And so there's some things that, being happy, being healthy, being, having a good perspective on things, I've technically accomplished enough that I should be happy. But if I don't have the right perspective, I'll continue to chase after something that I'll never actually attain, even as I attain other goals from other people's perspective. People are always asking me about my relationship status, and of course, I'm not telling nobody. You're not gonna see anything until I pop the question. Trust me, you're probably not gonna see too much lead up at all. But, at this moment, I am dating, and, the things that really, catch my attention is, first of all, just maturity. I thought it was intelligence. No, it's just maturity. It's feeling comfortable confronting an issue right away. Let's talk about it. Don't ever go to sleep mad. That type of stuff is just so important to me, because in this life, it's so stressful. There are a lot of things I want to do. There's some film things that are happening, some TV pilots that I want to produce. There's a book that we still have to continue to market. And of course, we're going to go on tour again. I'm not going to focus too much on accomplishing things. My accomplishment is if every time you see me, I look rested, I look at peace, and I look like I serve a wonderful God.